Hello everyone, welcome. This is Linda at Tinbird Studios, and I just want to hop on and share some seasonal finds. I came across these several weeks ago, but still in the process of storing everything, so I just wanted to share them before I did that. They are very fragile items, so um, wanted to do that and keep them in a safe place till the next season. But first of all, I'd like to thank all my new subscribers. Thank you so much for subscribing. And just remember, if you like this video, go ahead and click on that, subscribe, and leave a comment if you like. Okay, so let's go ahead and start with the haul. So I'm going to go ahead and start with the things that I found at the antique mall. And the first thing that I set my eyes on was this beautiful tray. And this says Dryden and Ozark Frontier. So I'm not familiar with that maker, but I thought it was very beautiful. And the way it kind of captured the light in the display case, I thought that was something that I could set up for fall, and I just enjoyed the colors. So that would be my first item. Then I was really looking for vintage Christmas when I went, and I did come across some things, so I'll go ahead and share those with you. I think I paid $10 for the tray. And let me go ahead and I found some ornaments, and the first one I want to share with you is this little booty, and it says Mr. Christmas 69 Japan. And I just like the millinery type of flowers here at the top, and this kind of sisal here, and maybe a little bit of damage here and here, but that's something that can be covered up. But I just like the look of it. I thought it was pretty precious, so I went ahead and picked that up. And all the ornaments that I got were anywhere from $4 to I think $9. The next ornament that I purchased there was this one here, and I'm thinking that this is Polish. I'm not sure, but I couldn't find one like it online. But I felt it was really different, in terms of the shape, in terms of the color, and I really enjoy those little bits of glitter at the top. So I do have a vintage tree, or one that with a vintage theme that I'll be setting up this coming year. And I've got my True Tone lights that I ordered, and so I want to be able to display vintage ornaments on that tree, and then also my True Tone collection, which is getting to be nice and big. And then at the base of the tree, I'd like to go ahead and include also some vintage toys. So that's what I'm kind of gearing up for. The other ornament I found was this cute lantern. And I have some of these, but I don't have anything with a Christmas type theme. And I thought it would look very pretty once I set it up with just a little battery operated light so that it glows. And this would also be on that vintage tree. So I thought this was really, really cute. And I just love lanterns. Okay. And then I think those are, one ornament broke, so I'm not including that one. But just, it was a nice selection. It was a antique mall in Austin, close to Round Rock. And so I enjoyed my time there. Then the other item that I purchased was just this little container of glitter. And I really like the packaging. It has that retro vibe to it. And this says Carter's at the top, and it's rainbow. So let me see if I can just pour a little bit out here, and let me see what I can find to pour it out into. Something right here. Just put it in this little gum parker. Okay. And so let me go ahead and sprinkle this on here just so that you can kind of take a look. And that's very, very pretty. That sparkles really nicely. And yeah, that's going to be fun to use. Cool. Okay. So the next item I want to share is this other item that I bought there. It's kind of like a prim wire rabbit, and I think this will look really nice with some vintage Easter grass and maybe some other Easter decoration, or even maybe some cross stitching, a pillow or something. So I just love wire. I do have a small wire collection, baskets and purses, and I even have a little high chair, like a doll high chair made out of wire. So this is a nice addition to my collection. And then along with that, I'm going to go ahead and share some ornaments that I ordered, since it's on the same theme, related to the same theme. And so this is from John Darien, and they're a company in New York. And so I also have a feather tree, antique feather tree, which needs some work, which I'll be working on soon. And so I wanted some ornaments. Now, some of these are made with the original molds. So in the description, when you go online, it'll tell you which ones were made with original molds, German molds. So I believe this one and this one here, oops, were both made with those molds. And so they're hand painted and they're made to look antique. But because I haven't been able to find antique ornaments for that feather tree, or not in antique ornaments that are similar to this, with this content, then I decided that this was very close to it in terms of the look. And so I don't mind using new items, but see how they replicated the base here, the sled, and you know, there's just some nice detail in there, and so they're very nicely made. So I was very happy with the purchase. And this is a lantern, and my grandpa had some lanterns, and this reminds me of him, so I'm always looking for something with that kind of theme. And then the last thing that I ordered from there was this glass head, and it's very thin, it's very delicate, but I think this with a tea light, battery operated tea light, will look very pretty. And again, I think this, I'm not sure about the mold for this, but I think this one is Polish. You know, don't quote me on that, but if I remember correctly. But you can go onto the website. I don't know if they have the Christmas ones out. I don't know, they're sold out. But I got this, I think maybe very late December or maybe early January. And I just wanted to splurge on some of these beautiful items. And it's just a very nice quality. And I look forward to putting this on my feather tree also. Okay, and then the last item from this group of items is this vintage ornament. Now this one I purchased at the antique mall, and you know, I love this little grape cluster, and I can't see. It looks like it's a says, is it shiny bright? I don't know. It's hard to tell, but it's transparent. It's very delicate looking, has a nice shimmer to it, and so I thought this would be a nice addition to my feather tree. So these are the items that I got at that antique mall and on the website of John Darien. And so I'm going to go ahead and just move these out of the way carefully, and I'll bring out some more things that I want to share with you. Okay, so I've been shopping, and so this is an antique mall in San Antonio, Texas, and this is, I believe, 2 different antique malls. And I'm always on the hunt for antique Christmas, vintage Christmas, but I really want to get something truly special that I want to invest in. So I'm always on the lookout for that. I haven't found anything. I know there's things online, but I just want to be able to try to purchase it myself by, you know, taking the item, looking at it, and feeling good about investing in the item. So these are some other things that I found while on the hunt for that. These 2 are malls in San Antonio, and first one is this vinyl toy, and this says that it's soft skin, safe, sanitary, virgin vinyl, and this is it says soft skin toys incorporated, New York. And so I thought this was really cute, and it looked like the dealer had just brought in a whole slew of these vintage toys, and mainly had piggy banks. But I have a couple other of these kind of these vinyl toys, and I just thought this one was really cute. Very animated and in very, very good condition. And I looked online, I couldn't find one that was exactly like it. There were some that were similar, but this is definitely a much nicer quality. So I'm glad I found this, and I'm thinking that maybe the dealer had just set up these items. So a lot of nice details. Everything seems to be intact. Some color there. I'm not sure why that's there. And then if you look at the vinyl, it's got some stars within the surface. So that is also very cool. This is also made of vinyl. So yeah, so that was my first purchase there. And let's see, I'm gonna put this over here. Get out of the way. Okay, and let's move on to some ornaments. So I did find this ornament, and I like the kind of sisal background, and it's got that vintage tinsel wire, and I love anything with the theme of a candle. It doesn't have any kind of marking, so I'm not sure what the age is, but I thought it was pretty unique, like the texture of the bow. So I felt that that was a good find. I found these lanterns, and this is supposed to be, I think, a balloon, and I'm not familiar with the condition, but I saw that someone had taken, you know, those vintage rotating stamp holders, and they had hung this type of ornament from them, and so I thought that was a very nice look. I'm not sure where I saw it, but I know I saw it on online somewhere. But I thought I'd try to achieve that look too. So I was happy with these, and they were only $6 each, so I thought that was a good buy. And I also purchased this little boot, and so looks like it might have belonged to one of Santa's elves, but I thought this would be a good way to display some pixies on there, create a little vignette with some pixies in it. And I do have a collection of Santa boots, so I really like this. Okay, and along with that, oops, I lost the little papers. I found these stars, and I believe you attach these to your light string. So I love anything that has these strong primary colors that you would see, for example, in that lantern that you could put against a tinsel tree, you know, with the different colors on there, all primary colors. And it came with all the little pieces of these punched out circles. So this one, let me see, I saw these online and they were about the same price online, but the cool thing is that, you know, in the store you can actually see the item and see the condition. So you know, I was happy with this purchase, and look forward to putting it using these with on that vintage tree that I want to set up for Christmas. Okay, so let me put those away. Each of them had these little papers. Now, when I went online, I didn't see any with these little punched out circles. So I don't know. Okay. So let me put that over here so I don't forget to put those little circles back because I dropped one of them. And the final thing I bought, well, actually, I also purchased a mid-century table, and it had that crackle ice on the surface, and it's small, but I want to use it as part of a display. I would say it was maybe 8 inches by 20 inches, and then maybe 6 inches deep. So I think it'll be a nice addition to my furniture. And then this reminds me of those Halloween, and I think it's mainly Halloween booklets that are very collectible from the 1910s and 1920s. And the name escapes me of the company. I think it was, let me look over here. It might have been Denison, but this is not Denison. This is another company. But I love the graphics, and this is something that I can put out with my holiday display. And I'll just go ahead and thumb through some of the pages. It's in pretty good shape. I did pay $24 for it. And again, you can still find this online. But, you know, the thing with online stuff is, if it's a copy, the quality might be okay, but then when you receive it, it's going to be very different. And so I really would rather pay a little bit more and get it in person. But it's got decorations for the different holidays, and more than anything, I just like the graphics, so I could, you know, put it as a background to different holiday displays. It's a very cute book. Okay, And so that's it for that one particular store. And I have, or the two antique sampler malls. And I have one other set of things to share with you. So I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm back. And so I've got items from a different antique mall, same location, same city. So we've got a couple of postcards, and you know, it's got beautiful detail, a little bit of sparkle with that glitter. It says Happy Easter. And this is one that apparently, if it's humid, it's going to be pink. The parasol, drier weather, I think, produces blue. So thought it was really cute. Shore Studios. And I just like the idea of that imagery. Okay. I also found these small little kind of petit fours, and it says lovingly, imagine out loud. Looks like Deborah Leah. So I don't know if that's the brand or Maker's Mark, but I thought these would be really cute in an Easter display also. Okay, I'll set that aside. And I found this one at that same location that I shared with you at the beginning of this video. And I think it's just a wonderful addition to my Valentine collection, because those items are hard to find. And I'll show you the bottom of it. It's got some markings, but I thought it was really, really cute. I really like the face. I love those eyes. Okay, the detail is wonderful. And then I found this one bookend, and I thought that was really cute. I do have a collection of deer, so this could be used year-round. Okay, and then I also found, even though it's not Victorian, I would like to use this in my Victorian tree, my feather tree, because I think the motif lends itself to it. All right, then I have these two little baskets. I think these were part of a grab bag of some sort, if I remember correctly. But I thought this was really precious, and something that I can add to a display. And I think that this is broken off, but that's okay. All right, so there's that. And then I've got items that I found at the Auxiliary League. And so I'll share those with you too. Okay. So this one I did, so I've got another deer there. But I found two of these. And this one I found at a local thrift shop. And then I bought two, but one of them was damaged. I didn't realize until I got home. But still, it'll make a nice display with my set of dolls that I have. I found this Victorian Easter egg, and I think it's just gorgeous. And I paid all of $1 for this. I couldn't believe it. Okay, let's set that there, or maybe I'll set it aside over here. Okay, and what else did I find there? Okay, I did find vintage Halloween is also very hard to find. So this is a heat transfer. So I think I'm going to test it out just cut out a piece and test it out on a fabric and see how it works. If not, I'll probably make it part of a display somehow. There's that. And then I'm always looking at the sewing notions, textiles and fabric, and so I did find this one item which I thought was really cool. Take out my samples there. And so this is a whole roll of crinoline, and so I just love the look of it. But I think I wouldn't use it for its maybe intended purpose. I think they use these to create hats and so forth, to work with a brim or add a ruffle or something, and also in clothing. But I'm probably going to use this when I make stuff. And so this one's 100 yards by 4 inches, and I paid, I think, $8 for this. And I just love the worn look to it and the patina on the edges. So I think this has a lot of possibilities. And I started to play around with it a little bit. And so I did wash it. I took out a piece and washed it. And I put it through a crimper. And so it holds its shape pretty well. And so, you know, I do plan to play with it quite a bit. I put it through my my cutting machine, added some Tim Holtz ink, and then added some glitter. And so, you know, I think it has a lot of possibilities, and I think I can use it in a lot of different projects. But I just love, you know, the weave to it, and you can even write on it. And here's an example of, you know, I did this with just by adding glue, and I used the Martha Stewart glitter glue, and I used this glitter that I had found not too long ago. And this is, let me see if there's a color here. Oh, it's called Disco. And but I just love the look of it, because it has that kind of old world look to it. But at the same time, let me see if I can block some of that light out. But at the same time, you know, it's very much in trend with today. Okay, and then added some ink to that one, added some ink to this. You know, and I think I could attach things to the surface. It holds its shape pretty well. So I thought this was a fantastic buy. All right, so that's one of the items. I did find several bags with doilies and parts of stuff. So I'll share these quickly. And I'll move the basket out of the way. Leave that there. So I have washed these, and I did press some of them. So one was a lot, and it was, I think, total of $4 for like 10 different pieces of doilies and lace and so forth. One was a runner, and that was a separate price. That was $4. No, I think the bag was $3 and then $4. And then one of the items was $1. But this came along with a collar, and just really soft, um, material that they used in this collar that they made. I think this is handmade. I wouldn't say that this is machine made. I might be wrong. Okay, so that's the first item there. And then a little bit of lace. Probably cut off from another project, but that's okay by me. And then these parts here, I think they were maybe part of something that the person was making, maybe a jammy or a pant or something. But I could definitely use the edges of this. I don't know how to crochet or how to knit, so I have to use what other people have left. And then here's another doily. And these are really great. I like to take these and put them on a pedestal and then stack the pedestals, like cake pedestals, stack them up, and it almost gives the appearance of a tiered cake to display different items. Another bit of edging. This, I'm not sure what it is. I don't know how I will use this one though. So if y'all have any ideas, well, I could dye them black and use them like a little mask on a doll. But let me know in the comments. This is beautiful here. And then there's another one. This could be a bookmark, or maybe it was. I like to put these on small plates. If the plates are antique, I like to put these on top so that way I can use them. Since many times we don't know what the materials are on the surface of those items. And this is a runner, and this is so beautiful. And it has kind of a sculptural look to it. There's some really wonderful details. And I just think this is beautiful. Now I'm wondering if I should soak this longer to bring out the white, or maybe this is the color that it's supposed to be. I'm not sure. But for $4, I thought that was a great buy. And it's pretty long. I would say it's maybe a yard in length, maybe a little bit shorter than a yard in length. Okay, here's another doily. And so I'm really excited about sharing these with you so I can put them to use or store them for safekeeping. Another bit of an edging or notion. This, I'm not sure what it is. Maybe it was the beginning of something. So I'm not sure how it would use that. And this, I'm going to use like a little doll's cap, like a knitted cap. And all these yarn or whatever was used to create these threads feel very, very soft. And then there's some binding here, probably using a small piece. So that was most of the textiles. I do have, let me see. Well, here it is. So on a different day, I purchased this one, but maybe you can share with me in the comments how you would go about preserving the ribbon here. But I'll show you the little, it's a little knitted cap, a little cap, excuse me, not knitted. And it's a really, really soft surface, extremely soft. I think I'm going to just go ahead and steam this to bring out the flower shape. But this has deteriorated quite a bit. The ribbon has. So, if you be kind enough to share with me how you would go about trying to fix this. I really don't want to cut it off. And I think it's just, you know, from age, but this is probably, I'm saying it's probably silk, the way it's deteriorated. But I thought it was just a really beautiful item. Okay, and the last few things are just practical items. Or items I can use in a project. And so, you know, I found some seam binding. I really love the color of all of these three. I love this light blue. You know, I'm thinking that maybe even I can take some of this seam binding and just attach it with some very thin thread, and just maybe if I can get a wider one that's about the same color, and just kind of use it as backing to preserve that a little bit better. Okay, so I have that. I found this die to use in my machine, and it's terrific. There's always time for tea, and you're just my cup of tea. So I think those were pretty cool sentiments. And then finally, I found two of these, and these are chipboard and acrylic album. And I probably use the chipboard in a, you know, I probably use them in a different way, but these are all practical items. Originally, I thought it had you know, several of the acrylic plates on there, but it only has one. But that's all right, because this chipboard can get kind of pricey. And I ended up, excuse me, I ended up buying both of these for $1 each because they had a sale on that day. So yeah, so I found some fantastic things. Thanks for coming along. And again, thank you very much for subscribing. Thank you so much for my new subscribers, and I really like sharing this information with you. But feel free to make some comments, especially if you are familiar with the items or might know a little bit more about them. It'd be great so that we can have it, so that we can share with others, right? And again, if you like this video, make sure you hit the like, subscribe, and again, feel free to leave comments. All right, we'll see you next week. Fingers crossed, and until next time, bye.